on a night high on shock value and low on resale value. The Rangers were bottled up and shut down throughout a 4-1 loss to the Nashville Predators on home ice. Hi, everyone. Welcome inside our Delta MSG studios at the Garden. Alongside Steve Valiquette, I'm John Giannone. When you have a new coach and a new system, every game, especially this early in the season, is a learning curve. What do you think Peter Laviolette learned tonight?
Well, the biggest signing of the summer was Peter Laviolette. We wanted change. That's what the Rangers wanted. They were going after change. So we haven't seen change yet with chances off the rush. Last season, the Rangers were in the bottom third of the league of giving up those big chances that we saw in this hockey game. So my wonder is, does Laviolette keep bullets in the chamber, or does he start firing them right now? Because you can't go after your players too often because they stop listening. But at the same time, it's the new voice that everybody has been encouraged about. And if anybody saw, did you see the way that Rick Tocchet went after the players in Vancouver after they lost against Philadelphia the other night? Like, Rick Tocchet has that presence. He can get away with it because he's got a Hall of Fame career. And I'm wondering if Laviolette, with his Hall of Fame career as a coach, can go in there and start firing bullets here, because what I saw there, and what I can tell you is during my playing career, the teams that I was on that weren't very good, they were very nice to each other. They were very friendly. After a couple beers, it was everyone else's problem. But I mean, at this point right now, you got 5 games on the road coming up. I think it's time to start, really demanding more here, because there was a lot of sloppy play in this game.
So speaking of which, it was a game that was generally controlled in all 3 zones by the Nashville Predators. That's what normally happens when you only get 14 shots on goal through 2 periods, as the Rangers did. When you break down and size up what Nashville did, which area of the game do you think they were most effective?
They were most effective in the neutral zone. Anytime the Rangers tried to do anything tricky, east to west passing, not going north, passing back towards their net, it was over sticks, and these guys were gone. Like, they were fast to jump. 5 guys were leaning in for Nashville, and I mean leaning in on any turnover. In the first period, we saw 2-on-1s right away. And that's never a good look, John, when you get these wide open looks. That was a 2-on-0 that became a breakaway. Okay, so some really big mistakes to have a 2-on-0 in the first period of the hockey game. Shesterkin has to make a breakaway save in the second period just to keep this game alive. But it wasn't over. The off-the-rush plays continue to come, and this is the change the Rangers have to make right now. It's how can we better defend off the rush? If we're going to give up a chance off the rush, how do we get back with good sticks to allow our goalies to be able to then defend one side of the ice instead of having to get across and make a more technical save?
All right, so the Preds scored 2 in the first period against Igor Shesterkin. They led it 2-0 going into the second period. This was a team that had already played 4 games. In their first 4 games, Steve, they were 2 for 17 on the power play. Tonight in the second period alone, they were 2 for 3.
Yeah. Burnett, again, this is a coach that knows how to coach the power play. He's had a lot of success, high-end player in his career, knows what makes a power play tick. What he had set up on the first one, it was a give and go to the slot for a wide open one-timer. And that's a grade A opportunity. To me, it didn't look like the Rangers were defending the middle of the ice on that play, and they weren't jumping like they did in the previous games. We've seen a lot of clips of the Rangers being able to get with their sticks, cutting off the middle of the ice, and not allowing the pass to get through the slot. So on this one here, they're set up on one side, Nashville is, but you should never see anybody that wide open in the slot on a power play. That is a massive mistake, and it's either too much thinking or no thought at all, and both are dangerous. I'm hoping the Rangers fix that, because that's wide open scoring opportunities on the penalty kill that, to me, has done a good job in the other games of being able to defend the middle of the ice. That shot right there is one Shesterkin wants to have back. This is an amazing stat. Last year, he had that one on the penalty kill 65 times. He never got beat on it. Sometimes what happens is when you're not protected on the passing as a goalie, that's when the math gets difficult. You're starting to think outside of just being on the puck. That's where it gets very dangerous for him. I want him to be our best player. That's what my objective would be. I want Shesterkin to have the opportunity to be the best player on the ice, to have the most impact in the game. He has to be able to lock on that shot and have it and not think about the other possibilities. That's not his game right there. I feel like it was influenced by the play of the Rangers in the game for him to leave his mental duty of being on the puck and locked in.
Well, that shot, the fourth goal against Shesterkin, sent him to the bench. Jonathan Quick came in, finished out the game, made his Rangers debut, all part of a 4-1 loss. Let's get some reaction from the dressing room. Michelle Gingras is inside talking to the Rangers. We start with Chris Kreider.
My process wasn't there the whole night. They came out harder, won more battles, moved their feet, supported each other, got in lanes, played more North hockey. I think some of the stuff that bit us in the Columbus game was there on top of not executing all over the ice. So just got beat flat out.
Did you feel like you guys were overthinking a little bit? You know, you're trying to learn this new system and adapt. Was there any of that?
No, we got the system. Got to move our feet, get into people, win battles. I think it's working smart too. I know that we talked about their goal of handling the puck well. Eventually we start dumping pucks in, but we put them right on their goaltender, and they come out of the zone pretty clean. Can't really establish a forecheck when you give a puck-moving goaltender like that opportunities to jumpstart their breakout. So didn't help ourselves in that regard, but there was obviously a lot of other things that we could have done better.
Thoughts from Chris Kreider, beginning it by basically being succinct and saying process was not good. You see the podium to the right of your screen. That is where Peter Laviolette will share his post-game thoughts. We'll have that for you coming up in a moment. But, you talk about what the Rangers weren't doing well tonight, and the list was rather lengthy as the game progressed. Something that jumped out at you?
Well, you're always looking for the why. Why aren't we prepared? Why aren't we ready? Typically, you see a performance like this after a Halloween party, after a Christmas party, after the rookie party, something, and you're wondering, okay, why weren't we sharp? Because Nashville came in here and they were sharp, and the Rangers, they just weren't. They weren't making good plays, John. If you mismanage the puck like this in the neutral zone, you're going to lose. You're going to lose because you're going to give the big chances up off the rush, and you're going to lose because you take more penalties because you're always chasing. You can't win like that. In the NHL, it's got to be crisp, it's got to be fast. A lot of rolling pucks here where guys just couldn't receive passes from each other, and you're giving up grade A opportunities on breakaways. You're only going to get that outcome. And it started in the first 5 minutes. The Rangers didn't start this game on time, and they got behind early.
And that was Cole Smith ×2 in the first period. A guy who had 4 career NHL goals coming into tonight scores 2 more in the first period alone, and that really jump-started Nashville on this night. So why do you think overall, Steve, that was so difficult for the Rangers to muster anything significant at UC Saros?
Well, Nashville defends well. I'll start right there. Right now, Nashville, they are 4th in the NHL with giving up the fewest scoring chances against. They're defending very well. I think that Nashville has turned over the roster. Ryan Johansson's gone. Matt Duchene's gone. Their big guys are gone, and they've replenished it with heart and soul. And this program, it's an admirable organization. 20 years ago, starting from nothing, being able to get a climb to the top. They've always really developed well within. Very good at developing defensemen over the years. Right now, they're defense first because Barry Trotz took over as GM now, and he's going hard with this message that we are going to defend, and then we're going to figure out the rest later. I don't know if it's a playoff team, but on the back of Saros, who's one of the best goalies in the league, and defense like that, you have a fighting chance, and that's the way the franchise began.